do we do action? Action. All right. Hey everyone, Christian Murphy here for Campus Conversations. This week we're doing a Bible study edition of Campus Conversations. On campus, on the Long Island campus, we started recently a Bible study which met periodically, and it was something that was really starting to brew and starting to develop into something really exciting. And Michelle and Dominique here, who are joining us for this episode, were key components of starting that group, and really kind of inspiring that this could be something that the community would enjoy, and which was great. And so we're really excited to offer this special edition. They both reached out to me and said, "Hey, why don't we take this on the road in a way? Take it online." And I thought, that's a really great idea. So here we are. So the way that Bible study typically works for us, at least, everyone has their own way of going through scripture, and that's a personal experience. And so, but what we do is we'll read the scripture, and usually you focus on a smaller piece of scripture because you don't want to overwhelm yourself. We'll focus on a small piece. We'll discuss what it means, how we should look at it, and then discuss how that could have an impact on our lives in the current situations that we find ourselves in now. Okay, so before we are, Michelle and Dominique, before we start, can you both introduce yourself and maybe say a little bit about yourself, what year you are, what are you studying?
Sure. I'm Michelle. I'm going to be a senior in St. Joe's. I study sociology to be a social worker, and I'm minor in religion, so something like ministry is probably my goal.
Cool.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Dominique. I'm going to be a junior. I'm studying biology, and I'm thinking of getting a minor in business.
So that's great. I'm happy to hear those different avenues of study that you're going in, because I think that's really important. That's really one of the things that I appreciate about the both of you in your role in campus ministry, is that you bring a lot of different things to the table, and I think that's true of a lot of the St. Joe students, that I never meet a St. Joe student who is just one thing or doing one track. You have a minor, your business minor, possibly, those kinds of things. And that's really exciting. And that kind of speaks to today's verse. All right, so today's verse that we're looking at is from Matthew, the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 7, verse 13, the narrow gate. And it says, "Enter through the narrow gate, for the gate is wide and the road broad that leads to destruction. And those who enter through it are many. How narrow the gate and constricted the road that leads to life, and those who find it are few." The Bible is a library. It's not a book. It's a bunch of different books that are written in different styles. So it's really important to remember. The area that we're looking at here in Matthew is a style where Jesus is speaking to us through parables, metaphors, different things that he's trying to speak to the people and say, hey, the good is like this. And he's really trying to speak to the everyday person. So that's important to remember. And so he's talking about what is the entrance into heaven. Really, that's the reference of the gate. What is the gate? What is it to heaven? So with that in mind, what do you both think of when you hear this verse? How does this verse resonate with you?
Like, the first thing that sparks with me is like how easy it is to go through like the wide open gate, and why like we're so like pulled toward it. It's like because it's so easy, and like going toward the good is so hard. And it's like, it's weird because like we all want to be like intrinsically good, but for some reason we always just go back to the bad, because it's so easy to go down that path where it's like, well, this is easy. Look how wide open this gate is. Like, there's no struggle going through it.
Let's go to the gate part for a moment here. So what does the gate mean then? Because we're looking at it like as I think of like a fence, right? We're looking at like a gate or a fence, something like that. But what is Jesus really telling us about this? What is the gate? You know what I mean?
I think it's like maybe being forgiven for the things that you've done wrong, or you've done wrong. Like the things that hold you back from like living your full life, like that kind of stuff.
Okay, so going through, so like the wide gate, which go back to it. The wide gate leads to destruction, and those who enter through it are many. The narrow gate leads to good, and those who enter it are few. So to kind of give everyone perspective here, because for the naked eye, you can kind of be like, wait, what? The gate, like, is my gate too wide? Did I build my house wrong? Like, what am I doing? It's like, well, like Dominique was saying, the wide gate is a metaphor for the easy ways out in life. The little things that end up being not good things and not the way we should live. And what he's kind of saying is the wide mindset of society of saying, well, this is the way it is. And what Christ is saying, he's like, well, sometimes you have to work a little bit harder and see that other gate over there. It's a little bit smaller. You're going to kind of have to figure out a way to go through that one. But if you take the time to work on those parts of you and figure those things out and become the best version of yourself, that's really the good that we're talking about here. So forgiveness is part of that. And that takes humility and, courage to be able to be forgiven and to forgive. I want to revisit, Dominique, you said something about the bad, so can you share a little bit more about what you mean by that?
So like cheating, like, okay, like you look at it and it's like, okay, the teacher's not going to see. That's so easy to go through that. Just like cheat and then like pass this test. And the narrow gate would be like, okay, I don't know what's going on for this class. And I don't know like if I'm going to pass this test, but like, I know what's the right thing to do. Like, so that's the narrow gate. And the wide gate's like, oh, let me just take the easy way out. Like, oh, maybe other people in the class is doing it too. Let me join in. Where it's kind of like, it's just so easy to follow through that one and like harder to get through the narrow because it's obviously like you want to like, because most people are not trying to be bad. It's kind of like they just want to be happy, It's like they kind of go through the wide gate because like that makes me happy. But like God did call us for like happiness and he wants us to be happy. But sometimes you have to go through that narrow gate to really find the happiness like beyond that. Because we're looking at the happiness like here and like it's really like it doesn't last long. So it's like, oh, like we're kind of a hedonist where it's like we like instant pleasure, but like sometimes you need to like work harder to get to that goal. Cause like what's behind the gates? Like we kind of want to look at that too.
I feel like when you put your life towards like following Jesus, it doesn't get easier. It gets harder. Like you're admitting to yourself the flaws that you have and like you're working through them. So like it's definitely not easy, like living in your faith. Like it wasn't easy for Jesus. Like people like crucified him. And when you follow him, it's definitely harder. So that gate's going to be hard to get through. But like, I feel like I work at Target and sometimes I feel like I'm always nice to people and people can be like so mean to me. And I had to remind myself that even though they're mean, I can't be mad at myself because they're not nice to me. But it's definitely hard like to think that way.
Being vulnerable by being kind, which for most people ends up leading back to their faith life, requires this vulnerability that then leads to many times people being hurt, and it's a tough road to balance. I really appreciate that you said that.
Yeah, like right now it's like all these things going on. It's easy to follow like certain things or a group of people are doing something. So you're like, oh, I want to do this too. I want to join in. And like sometimes it could be for like the greater good, but it's like, okay, this could be good, but like it also could lead to bad. So sometimes like the gate sometimes it's hard to figure out like where's the like wide one and which one's the narrow one, because sometimes you want to think like, oh yeah, I'm going down this narrow one because this is like different and I want to like make a difference. But then like you might be going through like the wider gate because you're not really paying attention to that much. But I feel like especially like right now it's really big on like relationships and like understanding people and like where they are in life and like how they are living their life in America or wherever they're living. There's so many things that's going on right now where it's like you have to understand like how people are feeling. And like you said, like it's not going to be easy. Like sometimes it's hard to understand people. Like you have your opinions, people have theirs, and like it's okay for that to happen.
You have to realize that it doesn't, like I feel like when you think of good and bad, you can't look at it as two distinctives. You have to look at it as one, because I feel like good and bad can coexist together. Like when you get rid of like good and bad, like there's like a balance, and you can find that balance. Like give it your all.
Michelle, are you saying, so when you say get rid of good and bad, I think I'm hearing that as get rid of the label of like someone is entirely good or entirely bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like I think like you can this as one. Like life's not perfect and it can be as one thing. Yeah. But we don't see that because we're human. When this whole pandemic happened, like I just realized that it's not worth giving into my fears because it's not gonna like help me in the end. Like doing something like this, I would have never done at school because like I would just be afraid. But like there's just no point in me being afraid anymore. Like I might as well just do it because like life's too short and just go for it. And like, it doesn't matter. Like you said, like courage, like is when we face our fears. And like, when you feel that, it feels like amazing and really good. And like, that kind of just reminds me that like, even when like I'm scared, that like I can just put my trust in God and know that I can do anything through him. And so like, yeah, it's just things like that in my everyday life.
Like for me, I feel like I was raised Catholic, so like my family's like really faithful. So it kind of made it like easier for me to like really get into the faith. But like my mom's always like taught me about like God's love and like just like emphasize it and just like I don't know, I guess like reading the Bible or just seeing certain things and it's like God is like he's never gonna like leave you alone. Like he's always there for you. And it's like sometimes in life it's like certain things do get hard and you're like faith life isn't easy. Like people think it's like so easy. They're like, oh, it's just you go to church, you pray. But it's like no, it's like a relationship with God. So it is difficult. But like as you build that relationship, like you learn to like trust him and like you can put him in everything, like every like aspect of your life, like you could bring him in.
And I think that's a great way to end for today, because I think the both of you have great foundations that you're still piecing together. But I think that's one of the things that impresses me about this discussion with you both, is that you have good foundations. And that's the key. That's really the key, is having a foundation that you can keep building upon, because it is going to get hard. The both of you have been very honest about that. I appreciate that. I want to thank you both for taking the time to join here and be part of this experience. This is really different and unique. We've never done this. Let's do it again soon. Let's maybe keep this ball rolling and see what happens. But wish you all viewing a beautiful day. Hope you're enjoying what's out there and taking the time to dive a little bit deeper into your own spiritual comfort. And so, yeah, have a good one. God bless.